I'm here with Marquita Murray, the incredible mother of our wonderful little one, Lennox. He is nonverbal and on the autism spectrum. She is going to share their unique journey and experiences. But first, can you describe the journey that led to Lennox's diagnosis?
So I want to say right when he was 2, but he was like a late 2, and we noticed that he wasn't talking. Like he would make noise, but he wasn't really forming words or sentences or saying his name or anything like that. And he wasn't responding to his name either. So we kind of thought he was deaf. So we brought that to the doctor's attention, and she gave us information so that we can get him tested for speech. And so this was kind of like right after COVID. So we did a Zoom call, like a Zoom meeting with the speech therapist. And the lady, she was kind of looking at him a little funny, and she told us that maybe we should get him just like his mannerism. She can kind of tell, because when you have a lot of experience with autistic people, you can almost kind of look at them and you can kind of tell. And it's kind of like what she did. And so she said that we should get him tested for autism. And I'm not even gonna lie, I was so offended. I was so offended. I was so upset. But it took me a little while to come down, and it's like, what could hurt? Just getting him tested, that's not gonna hurt. And so she set us up an appointment to with HISD, with Houston ISD, to get him tested for autism. And we did that, and he came back to for him he was autistic. So then they set us up with the school district so that he can go through HISD program for autistic kids.
So, nonverbal, I thought, and that's from my lack of knowledge on it, that they didn't speak at all. But he's learning to speak using the speech therapist. I guess they
Yes, so he does have speech therapy through school.
okay.
But nonverbal is considered when they cannot hold a conversation like you and I. Like he can't completely tell me how he feel or how his day was at school or things like that. So that makes him nonverbal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I understand what nonverbal is, how do you and Lennox typically communicate with each other?
Well, we just speak to him normally,
Okay.
like we would do any of our other kids, and he understands, he responds. But as far as him communicating with us, he would like point, or he would lead us to things that he want, or he would bring us things. I mean, sometimes if he feels strongly about it, he may use some words,
Okay.
he might use mind, no, stop, look, but it's not a complete sentence.
Okay.
So it's coming.
What can you say are some of your biggest challenges in supporting his communication needs?
Well, right now with there's a lack of services for autistic people. It's very hard to get a speech therapy on my own outside of school, and occupational therapy also. So that is like one of the biggest issues. And the waiting list for some of the services could be a long time, it could be years. So that's my biggest issue right now, is getting him speech therapy, private speech therapy, something that we can do at home.
How do you handle situations where he's unable to communicate his needs or discomfort?
Well, really, we're just really in tune with Lennox.
Mm-hmm.
So he just became potty trained not too long ago. I want to say right when he turned 5, like right around his birthday. And so with that, of course, he's not going to be like, Mommy, I got to use the bathroom or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So we just really pay attention to him. Like we're really in tune with Lennox.
Mhm.
So we could just look at him and tell if he got to go to the bathroom, or we can look at him, like if he's hungry, he'll lead us to the kitchen, or something like that. Everybody's very in tune with Lennox. Like, you really have to pay attention to him.
So it's become a routine.
It
This
is.
is
It is. It is.
It definitely sounds like you have to stay on your toes and really be mindful when it comes to checking in on his needs.
Once again, we just really pay attention to him. Like, if he's sick,
mhm.
and he's not feeling well, he's not his. A lot of autistic kids are very much so hyper. He's jumping all around, he's running, he's skipping, he's climbing. And if he's not doing any of those things, then we know he's having an off day.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Um how does Lennox typically respond to social interactions with other people outside of the family? Um have you had to facilitate any of those interactions to keep him social?
Yes. So I think school plays a big part in his social skills. It's getting better. At one point, he didn't like to be around children his age at all. And it's getting a little better. If he see a child, he doesn't really know how to, like, play or, you know, introduce himself or anything like that, because of course, he's nonverbal. So he'll just walk up to a child and he might rub their face and then turn around and run off. So that's his way of letting people know that he, like, hi, or he likes them, or he sees them, but um other than that, it's getting better for him with school. I feel like in his classmates and just sharing and things like that. He's come a long way. He still got work to do, but he's a loner. He plays alone a lot of the times, and I think he's okay with that. But he likes older kids and adults better than he likes kids his age, because I think people older know how to meet him where he's at. Younger kids, they really can't understand. They see him and they know, he's a little different.
Mhm.
He doesn't communicate. He almost doesn't act like us. So they really don't know how to take him. But older people, like, they know how to meet him where he's at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In what ways has your child's nonverbal status impacted your family dynamic?
Well, I think it makes all of us better people
Mhm.
with having a child that's on the spectrum. Like, it makes us a little bit more compassionate. It
Mhm.
makes us self-aware. It gives us a lot of understanding when it comes to different people, different situations and things like that. I just feel like it makes me a better person. He makes me a better person.
Mhm.
Um, just give us patience. It's just, I don't know, he's just wonderful. He's like a true blessing for us. He's very sweet and compassionate, and it's just
Little Joe, how has your perspective on communication and connection evolved since his diagnosis?
well, with communicating, it's not always verbal, right? You can always tell by body language, eye contact, and just things like that. It makes me more aware, even when I'm dealing with other people, even if they're verbal. Your body language is a little bit off or a little different. I could kind of read that.
Mhm.
So I mean, it just makes you more aware.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how do you recognize in your child that they may be on the spectrum? Like, outside of him not um answering to his name, little things like that. Is there anything else that a parent can
Well,
pay attention to?
it's a wide range of things. Like I say, it's a spectrum. So some people may not struggle. Like, it's a little boy at his school, and he's autistic, but he speaks well.
Okay.
He speaks well, but he still has some traits. Like, I guess he's a picky eater, or he had speech delay at one point, but he was able to pick his speech up very well. His sister, she has social anxiety, but she speaks very well also. And then you have other kids who doesn't speak well, or who can't feed themselves, or something, or have a lot of sensory issues, like they're sensitive to light, or they can't be around a lot of people in public. They have like social anxiety, things like that, or they kind of walk on their tiptoes, things like that.
So something as normal as that, it still could be.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that like people who are not on the spectrum don't deal with stuff like that, because they do. But it's just a lot of stuff. A lot of times autistic people are fixated on like one small thing. They might be fixated on, they could tell you everything about dinosaurs, or everything about birds, or everything about cars. Every time you talk, they're going to tell you about what they like. It might be annoying to you, but to them it's very exciting.
Right.
And so they might be very honest and straightforward, because they don't know how to sugarcoat stuff. They straightforward people.
Right.
Oh my God, it's a wide list of things. I saw this little boy in the grocery store, and automatically I spotted, he was verbal, he was talking to his mom, but he had this little wooden spoon and he was just holding on to it. And I was like, it reminded me so much of my son, because he like random stuff like that, like a wooden kitchen spoon, or you know what I'm saying, or something like that. And so he was just talking, and I was like, and I spoke to his mom, because we had an interaction at the grocery store where this lady was being very rude to him. And so I had to intervene, because she was almost yelling at the little boy, but I kind of picked it up, And so I was just having a conversation with the mom, and she's like, yeah, he's autistic too. So, I can almost kind of spot it when I see it.
So it's really important to build a community.
Because it's hard.
Yeah.
And sometimes you feel lonely, because you might not get invited to parties, because they feel like your son is, or your daughter is bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that they're bad, they're just different and they're misunderstood, So a lot of parents feel lonely. They can't go to family function, because a lot of times people have a lot of negative things to say about your kids. Oh, they're just bad, or they need a spanking, or, stuff like that.
How do you bridge that? Like, how do you, if you have that environment where family don't understand, is there a way of, hey, we need to discuss, this is what my child has, this is what comes with it?
Well, I think it's very important to educate people around you, but you still have people who don't believe in autism. I had people in my family that didn't believe autism was a thing. So, people are entitled to their opinions. I just feel like even with being a parent, period, you have to build thick skin and kind of do what's best for your family and your kids, even if that's not bringing your kids around people who says things to them or mean to them, or even mean to you, or make you feel some type of way about being a parent or the decisions that you make for your special needs child. So I don't really, I don't feel like I have really had to deal with that. Of course, I felt a certain type of way. We were at a family function, and I just feel like sometimes you just feel like you have to explain to people like, hey, he's autistic. He's not being rude, or he's not ignoring you on purpose to be rude, but he is autistic, But you also kind of have this thing in your mind like, dang, I wonder how they feel, or what they thinking, or something like that. You always gonna think like that, but I haven't had anybody say anything so far. But I've heard other stories, from other parents. So it's out there. It could be lonely.
So to shift gear, how do you cope? What is your outlet? Because like you said, you're building a community and things, and sometimes you feel alone. How do you cope? How do you have that reset for yourself? Because I know this is a everyday, all day job. You're advocating for him. You're making sure that he's comfortable and hurt, like all of these things. So what is your self-care look like for yourself, your mental?
Man, to be honest, I don't have a outlet. I haven't found one yet.
Mm-hmm.
I know I need to be better, you know, but I feel like I'm lucky compared to some people, you know, who have kids that's on the spectrum. He's very chill and laid back. So some of the struggles that other people struggle with, we really don't have that. And so, I mean, I don't know. And I've been doing it for so long, it just kind of, you know, come natural. Yeah. But I know I need to be better.
Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to other parents who are navigating this similar situation?
I know that when you have a child that's autistic or even disabled, you're unsure about their future, and it's scary. Like with autism, it's a spectrum, and you don't know if your child ever is going to be able to talk, or ever be able to drive, or use the bathroom, or do anything on their own. So it's very scary. But it's like you have to take one day at a time, and this is what any parent, whether your child is not disabled or autistic or anything like that, you and a lot of times as parents, we kind of compare our kids to other kids their age, and you shouldn't do that. You know, you shouldn't compare your child, because your child their journey is different than other people's journey. And so you just have to accept your child for where they are at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and embrace it, and you'll be just fine then. So sometimes you can be tired, unsure of yourself. You just got to keep going and educate yourself, you know, and advocate for your child. I've done a lot of advocating for my child. Like I say, educate, do a lot of research, find your community. You know, if you want to join different support groups, Facebook groups. I've joined some Facebook groups, and it helps out a lot, you know, and just hearing other people's story and just learning a lot of things. And so that also helps a lot.
So, anything that you would like to share
Um,
outside of the advice that you've shared with other parents navigating through this?
I just want parents to know that it's just getting their autism diagnosis is not a tragic thing. You know, it's just you just have to alter your life, you know. But it's not the end of the world. It really isn't, you know, like those kids, even when I go to my son's class, those kids are really a joy. And to see each and every one of them from the age of 3 to 5, the progress is crazy. You know, like he's progressing really fast. So and you just gotta be there to support him every way you can.
Now, what's his favorite thing to do?
He loves numbers and alphabets. He likes to spell. So like that's the thing that he's fixated on right now. And of course, you know, he's like an iPad kid. And he's very good with electronics, and he likes music. So and that's part of his stemming. So he like when he stems, he listens to intro music back to back, back to back, back to back all day long. I don't think we sit and watch a movie or a show all the way through, because he likes the music in the intro.
Okay.
Hmm.
What's his favorite show that had like the music to the show?
DuckTales.
The old movie
The old DuckTales, girl. He sings it. That is, as of right now, that's his favorite. Can you believe that?
I haven't heard DuckTales in so long.
So long. And his favorite movie is The Lion King.
Okay.
The
I can see
original
that.
Lion
I can
King.
see that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thank you. I thank you for giving us a little bit of your time and sharing with us Lennox's story.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that you can grow your village.
It's growing.
That's
Mm-hmm.
good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.